Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. This is the June love reading for the sign of Aries. Alright, we're going to get right into it with the Romance Angel Oracle deck. We're going to get 2 cards out for you, Aries. Alright, how you doing, Aries, my lovely fire signs? Alright, fellow fire signs. I'm a Sagittarius myself. Love you, Aries. How is your year going? You know, how's your springtime going? I'm going to take a look at your love life today. At least where it's at in June. I've already been meditating and shuffling your cards for quite some time now, Aries. So we don't need to shuffle too long. We're just going to give it a little shuffle and call in a message. I need 2 cards, please, angels. 2 cards that resonate with the Aries that are tuning into this video. Help me out with this, angels. Alright, give us a clear message for Aries, June 2019 for love. Alright, show me. Alright, so your first card, Aries. You deserve love. Alright. You are lovable. You are lovable. Aries, you're very lovable, right? You're rambunctious, you're impetuous, you're fiery, but Aries is nothing but if not lovable, right? The child of the Zodiac. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance, all right? So, you know, are you being positive? Are you thinking positively? Have you been in a little bit of a rut? This card is coming up, you know, for a reason, right? At the bottom of the deck, we have honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So it could be that somebody's going away. You could be going away. You could be just feeling like kind of that honeymoon energy right now, that kind of giddy, you know, new time together. I'm going to get the universal Rider-Waite. Actually, it's not the universal, it's the traditional. Rider-Waite deck up. And get your 9 cards, alright, Aries? We're going to see what's going on. Alright, you deserve love and stay optimistic. Interesting. Maybe some discord with your person. Let's get into it, alright? Angels, guides, spirits, please give me a clear reading. Bring the message down clearly for our lovely Aries signs. I'm going to give them a clear understanding for those that are going to tune into this video. What are they looking forward to in June? What's going on in their love life for those who are attached, who want to be attached, who want to get out of a relationship? There's all kinds of relationships, right? So show me a clear picture. What's Aries got to look forward to for June? All right, show me. Show me. Alright, Aries, we're going to pull your 9 cards. Alright, let's get into it. At the gate, 5 of Cups. Knight of Cups. 3 of Discs. The Strength card, 8. It's the Leo card. 7 of Cups. Choices. A lot of choices at the center of the reading. 4 of Wands. A lot of people call that the 1111 Twin Flame Soulmate card. I'll get into why. A little bit deeper into the card later. Tower. I love a tower moment. For those of you who are getting used to my channel, you know I love a tower moment. The moon. The moon is out. And 3, Empress. 3's been coming out a lot. The Empress card's been coming out a lot for people for the month of June, as well as the Strength card. At the bottom, also, this Ace of Swords is coming in. A lot of people are getting messages, right? Vindications, divine messages coming in, right? Communications, divine communications, messages that you can't miss out on. It's going to vindicate you. It's going to make you feel like, you know what, I was right this whole time. right? So we've got, let's get right into it, right? You've got 5 of Cups, 7 of Cups, Knight of Cups. The rest are mostly major arcana, right? So 5 of Cups, you know, you've been really wallowing in some sadness, some broken hearts, right? I think you're looking back recently on some really fucked up relationships, Aries. You're looking back on how messed up it was, right? There are 2 other cups. There's other possibilities, but you're so kind of absorbed in how messed up these last relationships were. You're kind of at an impasse. You're just kind of stuck. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of stuck just grieving, ruminating, wondering what did you do wrong? What did they do wrong? You know, how did it go wrong? And you're kind of stuck in this energy. Five of Cups talks about wallowing as well. You've got to pull yourself up out of this. You know, the lesson here is that there are 2 other cups. There are opportunities out there if only you would lift your head and look. Knight of Cups is coming in. I think this is somebody coming in for you, Aries. Someone's coming in. They may not have a whole lot of commitment, but they're coming in. They want to see you. They want to spend time with you, Aries. Right? Knight of Cups comes in. He's kind of the romantic, the Don Juan. He sweeps you off your feet. He may not be committed. He may not be here next month, but for now, he's good. You know what I'm saying? For now, he serves the purpose. He's giving you the attention that you might be needing. Right? Could be somebody's coming in for you. This person might be quite flighty though, Aries, but you know, you are flighty too. You can be flighty as well. So, I don't know, Aries. I think that's, I gotta turn my fan, I'm getting hot. East Coast is starting to heat up, people. Yeah, this person is quite flighty, but they do care for you. They want something with you, and they're coming in, right? They're coming in with a real offer for you. I don't know if you're going to take it, though. 3 of Discs, right now, you're getting some accolades at work. That's making you feel better. 3 of Discs talks about coming together, talks about commitment to a craft, commitment to your craft, right? If you're an artist or you have some kind of craft that you're studying, you know, if you're a mason or so, you know what I mean? Some kind of trade, you have a commitment to that trade to be good at it. 3 of Discs talks about getting accolades for your trade. See the 2 people that are coming to this person and asking him, you know, they want him to work on their cathedral, you know, which is important to them. So it's very, there's different layers here in terms of how you're being received, how your work is being received by the wider community. It's quite important. It's not just kind of frivolous. It's important to them. Like they get only the best, the best work, the work that's dearest to their heart, they're coming to you for. And that's a sense, you know, you're getting a really good sense for that. It could be that just in your social or in your work life, you're just getting a lot of confidence that you may be missing here in your love life right now, Aries, because of this scenario here. Remember, you do deserve love. It could be that right now you're not feeling like you do. 8 Strength card is here. Leo talks about being strong, knowing your limitations. You know, do you know how strong you really are? And in turn, do you really know what your limitations are? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like facing up to your limitations is a form of strength, right? Facing up and realizing, you know, where your boundaries are, you know, what you're willing to accept or not accept. I love the 8 of Cups, the 8 of the Major Arcana, actually. I love the 8 card because, you know, 8 is the number for limitations and boundaries, you know, and a lot of people think that this is card, you know, you may interpret it as her kind of taming the beast, you know, but it's more a case of understanding the beast, not taming, but understanding, you know, understanding how strong is he, what will set him off, what won't set him off, what will, you know, what can the beast tolerate, because the beast is you, is a portion of you. And understanding yourself is a way of understanding your limitations, your boundaries, etc. You know, and that is a form of strength. And I feel like right now you're kind of going through that. You're kind of reevaluating like who you really are, you know. I think that maybe, Aries, you thought that, you know, you saw yourself in a certain light, and I think that recently it's starting to change a little bit. You're starting to dig a little deeper and realize exactly, you know, where all your boundaries are. There's some options coming in, Aries. Even though this Knight of Cups is coming through for you, at the center of the deck, you have Seven of Cups. Talks about all kinds of wish fulfillment. You have many options here, many, many options. Are any of them options that you would take, though? Right? Look at the cups. They're filled with kind of shallow items, you know, victory, beauty, money, a castle. You know what I mean? So it's like a false prophet, you know. It's kind of like, is this what you want? Is this truly what you want? Seven of Cups talks about being careful what you wish for. You may get it, right? You may spend all your time manifesting a dream, and then once it comes true, you realize that's actually not what I want at all. So you've got a lot of options right here, but I think this Strength card, if you take advantage of this energy coming in, I think you'll do better making these choices, or even dispelling this cloud altogether. You know, with this card, I feel like the way to handle this card is not to make a choice at all, but to completely dispel the cloud and its options and manifest options that are more in tune with yourself. Unless, of course, these shallow kind of fleeting things is what you really desire. In that case, go for broke, you know. But if you want something deeper, you can get rid of the entire selection and like repopulate the actual selection of what you want. Four of Wands is coming in. Right? So you do have the possibility of either knowing or meeting your long-term partner. Someone that you can have a long-term relationship. Four of Wands is the soulmate energy card because it's the stability of Wands. Four is stability. So Four of Wands talks about the stability in passion, stability in your passions and desires, a coming together and understanding that you are equals, right? That you and your partner are equals. You know, it's the agreeing to disagree. It's the, you know, respecting each other even though you guys are very different, allowing each other the same equal kind of respect and input to a relationship. It's just stability in all areas. And so, because of that, these relationships, and it doesn't have to be romantic, this can talk about stability in your community, your family, your social circle, but it's enduring because of that. These relationships, the relationships that have found this kind of stability are enduring. They last many, 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 many years because of the stability. And therefore, the Four of Wands is many times associated with a soulmate or twin flames energy. But deeper than that, it talks about stability in a relationship, harmony in a relationship, which is there for the taking. You have this opportunity, right? It may be that you're working towards that. It may be that after having all of these other options, you're realizing that this is actually what you want, right? You've gone through, you're going to be, if you haven't already, but you're going to be going through a real internal search, Aries, to go a little bit deeper and just see where are your boundaries, where are your limitations, you know, revise the image you have of yourself so that it's more accurate, and in turn so that you're more empowered. I think that this grief over here of these relationships that haven't worked out has really taken a toll on you, and it's really caused you to look a lot deeper. Tower moment is coming though. Just as soon as you've kind of come to terms with these fucked up options that you have here that maybe you realize you don't want, and you've come to terms with the fact that there is bonding going on in your social circle and that you want, you know, that this is also perhaps what you want in your love life, here comes, boom, the Tower. The Tower's been showing up all over the place lately. Just when you thought you knew what you wanted, everything's going to go upside down and turn upside down. Just when you thought you had a handle on everything, here comes the Tower. Right? So, Aries, you still have a lot going on this June. You have a lot going on. You're not committed. Certainly, this is not for a committed Aries. This is not for the Aries who's married or going to get married. This is for the Aries who's really kind of in between relationships and kind of going through it in terms of trying to find yourself for the next relationship. You just don't want more of the same, and you're kind of still caught up grieving. Like I said, this Five of Cups is really, it's really got a lot of heavy energy on you all, you know, all over. You know what I mean? It's at the top of the spread. It's the first card out, and it just kind of permeates to me your whole kind of, you know, at least let me say the first part of June, right? You'll come to terms with it, I think, and you'll understand this is where strength comes in, because 8 is right underneath of this. It's going to come in for you, and you're going to get out of this rut, but I think the toll that it's taken on you is really surprising for you. And I think that you still, you know, as a result of it, you're kind of reevaluating your life, your choices, like I said, but you still have a Tower moment to come, right? You still have a big change to come, you know, a big surprise coming in about your destiny, your future. You know, you still aren't ready to come closer to anyone, I don't think, because now you're going to go through this Tower moment. The moon is there. You don't feel like you're seeing everything. You're not going to be seeing everything. This is going to be a difficult Tower moment because it doesn't open up into clarity. For a little while, it's going to open up into more kind of confusion. There's going to be a little, it's almost like it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. It's going to get a little darker before it gets lighter. The moon is certainly at play. It can also be that maybe you're doing a little bit too much drinking, too much socializing, and especially in the wake of this Tower, or in, you know, in a space where this Tower is about to happen. If you're not paying attention, if you're spreading your energies too thinly in the night, you know, moon at nighttime, the moon talks about nightlife as well, you know. If you're doing too much of that and spreading yourself thin, you know, you may not be able to get the full lesson of this Tower moment, right? It may drag out as a result. Pay attention to what's happening, certainly. Take time off, right? The Empress is here. The Empress could be you. This could be you sitting pretty at the end of all of this. The Empress luxuriates, you know. She sits in the garden. She's, you know, she eats well. She drinks well. She lives well. She's comfortable, right? You see her. She looks like she can just like sit back and relax at all times. She's beautiful, right? The Emperor is the one who does the ruling and the leading, right? He's the action. She is the beauty. She's the one who just sits back and looks beautiful, the regal queen. A lot of people talk about the Empress meaning new beginnings. Yes, the Empress can indicate new beginnings depending on the reading, because she's the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother gives birth. So, of course, you know, she's indicative of being a woman, an Empress, and further a Divine Mother. There is birth and childbirth associated with her. But the 3 is not the number of new beginnings per se. It's the number of bonding and loyalty. It's the coming together. It's the Trinity. It's the combination of 2 and 1. It's not a birthing of anything new, but rather a combination of 2 archetypal energies, right? So 3, you know, 3 also talks about going beyond the point of no return. Again, birth is beyond the point of no return, but so is death. And the next 3 card is the Death card, 13. All right. So these are the inner, deeper correlations between the cards. But here, I feel like the 3, the Empress energy, the 3 here is representing just your deep kind of like indulgence in yourself. Your, I feel like you're taking time off. You've been going through quite a very difficult period, very confusing period, Aries. And you're like, fuck this. I'm going to enjoy myself. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy myself. You know, I still don't have the whole picture here with the moon, so I'm just gonna go forward and live my best life. I'm going to indulge a little bit, especially since this Tower moment is happening. Yeah, you got a lot to work through this month, Aries. You're just not in the mood for a relationship, though. You know, I just don't feel you being in the mood for one. Yes, you deserve love. That's what the romance angels say. Yes. And stay optimistic about your love life. Yes, I agree with that too. But, you know, they're not soulmate energies. They're not coming together energies. They're very much internal, like, energies. You know, do you deserve love and stay optimistic? It's all about how you're feeling about yourself. It really is nothing to do with your actual relationship with someone else. And I think that's really says it all, Aries. Right now, you're just not about anybody else. You're kind of about, you know, finding yourself, right? Knight of Swords wants to pop out. There he is. Let me finish. I'm going to get this clarity. Give me some clarity, Thoth deck, on this reading. We're going to clear out that Knight. Oh, another one face down, though. I'm not taking it. Got Knight of Swords here. Interesting. He keeps coming out as well. Give me some clarity on this reading for Aries, June 2019, in their love life. Clarify some of these relationships between the cards, occurrences, reaffirm, warnings, etc. So that I can get a deeper, clearer message to our lovely Aries. All right? Show me. Show me. 2019 June for Aries. All right, Aries, here we go. Let's get some clarity. We'll come back to the Knight of Swords. All right, here we go. Wow, magician out of control. Being a puppet, right? Five of Cups, indolence. Sagittarius is coming through with temperance, on temperance. Excuse me, on strength, temperance on strength. Excellent. It's the 14 on the 8. Six of Swords, science. 8. Adjustment. Look at that. Adjustment. And I'm going to read these upside down. 8 of Wands. Interesting. The 8 in the Thoth deck is called Adjustment, similar to the Justice card, right? However, in a Rider-Waite, it's the Strength. So Justice and Strength, both those cards can sometimes switch up depending on the deck you're dealing with. Sometimes they're 8s, sometimes they're 11s, right? In this deck, Justice is 8, not Strength. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have 10 of Swords. Ruin. The death of the old ego, right? So, yeah, of course, magician out of control. You've been feeling out of control as a result of this grief, right? You've been also kind of feeling, you know, indolence, this kind of pouring out, you know, to someone and getting nothing in return at all. You see the lotus flowers, they're kind of pouring out into the cups, and the cups are overflowing into another cup, but there's nothing in return. It's kind of just being wasted. This is wasted love. You know what I mean? This is just absolutely wasted love. This is when you just like give and give and give and give, and you just simply don't have anyone giving something in return. It's very painful. It's very wasteful, right? And you don't want any of that, right? So all of these energies, these feelings of indolence and magician out of control, being a puppet because of other people, that's the worry. That's where you're having this worry. And especially this Knight of Cups coming in, this is covering that as well. You worry. Is this Knight of Cups bringing that same kind of energy, right? Knight of Cups being very flighty to begin with. But is it going to be, again, this kind of, I pour myself into this person and I get nothing in return? Interestingly enough, indolence would cover the Knight of Cups and 3 of Discs. The one area in your life that you feel confident is your work area. So in that area, you are getting accolades and returns, right? But it kind of even more so shines a light on how in your personal life you just feel so kind of like cheated. You feel like you've wasted energy, just wasted energy, you know? Art is coming out over that 8, temperance. So you have strength card, which is one way of ruling yourself, temperance being the other. These are both dominion of the self in one way or another, in one form or fashion, right? Whereas strength talks about actually controlling your basic emotions, and temperance talks about integrating your soul and mental along with your emotional to come up with the right choices and paths, the right way to handle, right, trials and tribulations, the right way to control yourself in every scenario, right? There's a coming together. There's an alchemy inherent with the 14, otherwise the Sagittarian card. But this is also Leo energy. So we have 2 fire energies here as well. A lot of fire energy, Aries, could be that you're dealing with a Leo or Sagittarius. I usually don't like to make that point because it's really irrelevant. When you're reading tarot, you know, there's just absolutely, you know, to say you're dealing with one sign or another, it's just rattling off whatever the suit is. A lot of times if you're talking about a Knight of Wands, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, you might be dealing with a fire sign. The only reason they're saying that is because Wands represents fire. So then you get the applicable, you know, the obligatory, you may be dealing with a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries, but, you know, it just goes so much deeper than that. So, you know, it's not just about the suits, right? But here you do have the 2 cards that have been associated with Leo and Sagittarius, so that's quite interesting. It is 2 specific fire signs. We're not just saying you might be dealing with one of the fire signs because it's a Wands, or one of the water signs because it's a Cups. These are the specific cards associated with those signs, so that is quite interesting here, that, and is a little bit more indicative of probably dealing with someone who has that kind of energy. They may not even be Leo or Sagittarius, but they may have that energy in their chart. Covering everything here is the 7 of Cups, you know, options, and that's where temperance comes in as well. Temper yourself. Temper yourself. Don't run for those options. It's the mistake that you might have made before, Aries, which has got you into that position here. Remember, this is 7 of Cups. This is 8 of Cups. Running for those dreams, you know, what you thought you wanted, can very quickly bring you to the 8 of Cups, where you're just pouring into something that was never going to work. It was always false. So with 6 of Swords, you're talking about science here. You're talking about being very logical, right? So yes, that's what you need to do as well. Along with temperance, you do need to be very methodical, very logical. Think about the choices that you're making, Aries. Right? Don't be like knee-jerk reaction. Try not to be too much coming from your, you know, your passions, your gut, your fire. Try to sit back and think a little bit, right? So that you can come towards this kind of stable, harmonious situation with people, the 4 of Wands. But you have to employ some logic, some reasoning, some maturity. And that's what the 6 of Wands calls for. Here we go with that a Knight of Swords. This is what Knight of Swords talks about as well. Coming through with honesty, with inspiration, ideas, but being clear, being rational, cutting through all the bullshit. Not allowing games to be played, because the Knight of Swords is there and he's really ready to call anyone on their nonsense, you know? It's necessary. The Tower moment here, yeah, Tower moment with adjustment. Absolutely. Adjustment is the Thoth version of justice, balancing the scales, right? Balance. Understanding the totality of each side. Sometimes they can't be weighed equally. Sometimes they're made out of different scenarios and different elements. They aren't equal, you know? But it's like that weighing a feather against something else, you know, that has more substance. It doesn't really matter if the 2 things you're weighing or comparing are equal or of the same substance. There's a deeper way to find balance and justice, right? And the Tower moment, I think, is what it's all about. You're having this Tower moment, but it's to wake you up on what it is to really be fair and balanced. I feel like Aries, up until now, you might have been quite childish, quite immature about your relationships in terms of what you thought was fair, the way you thought it should go. I think you're going to wake up with this Tower moment and realize that, hey, you know what? Have I been a bit of a jerk? You know, you may realize that. Don't hate me, but it's true. This is the reading that I get. You know, if it doesn't resonate with you, fine. But we all wake up sometimes and realize we've been jerks. You know, everybody does. The point is to realize it and to fix it, right? And it could be that this is why the Tower moment's coming in. This Justice card, adjustment. Here in the Thoth deck, it's called adjustment. So justice, it doesn't have that kind of like swift, painful punishment connotation. It has more this kind of like, let me adjust myself so that I'm more in line with who I believe I should be, right? And that's certainly a good card, an excellent card to have over a Tower moment. With the Moon, sometimes the Moon again. So here over the Moon and Empress, you've got 8 in wands, another 8. Right? So another 8. Eights again are talking about limitations. But in wands, excuse me, it's talking about limitations and coming up with ideas, coming up with creativity, right? So in wands, 8 of wands, you're kind of breaking through that, right? You're breaking through that with communication. You're talking more with your colleagues and your loved ones, and you're expressing yourself more. And through that, you're breaking boundaries, you're breaking limitations, right? You're able to communicate in a very free way. So 8 of wands, you know, it's again being an 8, it's limitations, but still in wands, it's kind of like exalted, right? It's exalted in a way, in a sense. All right. And that energy is covering the Empress and the Moon, that indulgent. They're kind of like taking life, you know, for granted. That's kind of like, oh, I got it made good, you know. I got it made in the shade. I'm the Empress, right? So then here comes, boom, this energy on top of it. Like, yeah, you are, but is it going to last forever? You know? Is there a way you could lose it? You know? So here it talks about, you know, can talk about like obstacles you're going to come up against, right? Your limitations you're going to come up against. But then it has that energy of Mercury and Sagittarius. You want to talk about it and come up with a solution, right? You figure out what your boundary, what your limitations are, but if they get tested, you want to have a solution to it, right? And so that energy is all over this down here too. So even though you're luxuriating and you're enjoying yourself right now, you're kind of living your best life, you know, you don't feel like you need to give over to a relationship or anything like that. You are indeed going through a real internal, like, kind of like shift of the way you see yourself, and you're kind of doing like an internal audit almost of your strengths, your weaknesses, who you really are, what are you really afraid of, what are you really not afraid of, what situations could you survive and why. You know, really going deeper into who you are and how you survive this life. You know, that's kind of what you're going through this month. All right. So this 8 of wands at the bottom is beautiful because it's like, okay, I understand that I need to put some, right? I understand that I can't do everything. I understand that I'm only but so strong. I know how strong I am. I understand all these things, but I also know that through communication, we can still overcome these limitations. It's the hope, right? So that's a beautiful card to end on in terms of a clarification card, because after you come through this whole kind of like shadow work in terms of, you know, what the boundaries of yourself are, you come through only to realize that there are no boundaries, there are no limitations. Communication is everything. All right, my lovely Aries, it's getting pretty late. I'm exhausted. But if this message resonated with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, or share. If you've already liked, subscribed, and shared, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be trying to do some kind of live streaming as soon as I get my equipment settled. I did try, and I had a few snippets up that I finally got erased. But I'm going to try to get the apparatus all set up so that I can stream for you guys over the next few days. But for now, I'm just going to tell you guys, have a wonderful June love. Talk to you later, Aries. Bye-bye.